voit beaucoup de tirs.
We're getting out of the central district right now because we've been hearing a lot of automatic gunfire.
Haiti's capital in chaos. Paramilitary gangs control 80% of Port-au-Prince. Hospitals, police stations, schools, businesses destroyed. The Prime Minister forced to flee. Hundreds of thousands of civilians seeking refuge in crowded camps.
Gangs came into these people's communities, drove them from their homes, and one thing that's clear is there's no security here.
And it's unfolding just 700 miles by sea from America. U.S. military planes airlift millions of dollars in security aid. But a small international security force intended to train the Haitian police has yet to reach full strength. On the ground here, brave Haitians expose to us the atrocities, the sexual violence used as a weapon of war. The child soldiers forced to kill. As Haitians despair over who can save them, the humanitarian catastrophe grows. Our assignment: document the human toll of Haiti's descent into anarchy.
All right, we've just landed in Port-au-Prince, and already our plans have changed. We were supposed to be embedding with the Haitian police, the anti-gang unit, but last night they came under attack.
3 officers killed in an ambush by one of the most powerful gangs. The brazen attack, a renewed warning of the danger here, where the gangs rule by killing and kidnapping. To move securely here, we travel in a convoy of 2 armored cars, first through some of the few slivers of safety known as the green zones, where people try to scrape by day and hunker down by night.
All over the capital, you see broken down cars like this. This one's blocking the road. And at 6 p.m., these tires over here, these are going to be moved to block this street to try to keep the gangs from downtown from coming into this commercial district.
Most of the city is what the Haitians call territoire perdu, lost territory. The red zones, including this area, just blocks from the presidential palace. We will not be able to report here for long.
This is deep, deep red zone we're in right now. We're on the edge of Carrefour-L'Amour, the crossroads of death. The gangs have reached the heart of Port-au-Prince, and this is the line of demarcation. If you go too far that way, you're going to be killed. Soon after we saw that police armored personnel carrier go by, we started hearing gunfire, automatic rounds.
Fueled by automatic weapons and violent propaganda on social media, the most powerful gangs function as armed militias. This is 5 Seconds, Creole for 5 seconds, portraying itself as a paramilitary force. Its leader, Johnson Andre, known as Izzo, sanctioned by the US for assassination, kidnapping, hijacking, and documented sexual violence. In TikToks, since removed but obtained by Scripps News, he boasts of his tactical corps, a special forces unit armed with automatic weapons. Then there is 400 Mawazo, which terrorizes the country through violent kidnappings. Its leader, Joseph Wilson, calls himself Lanmo Sanju, death without appointment, and is on the FBI wanted list for kidnapping 16 American missionaries, including 5 children. Also wanted for the kidnapping of American missionaries, Vitel Om Innocent, the leader of Croisé Barrière, Breaking Barriers. He's on the FBI's 10 most wanted list with a $2 million bounty. The foremost face of the violence, Jimmy Chezier, who calls himself Barbecue. A former member of the Haitian police, sanctioned by the US and the UN for human rights atrocities.
Right down there is Barbecue's headquarters. This road that we're on, there are no other cars here because sometimes this area is in the crossfire of the gang wars. They heard shooting down that way near Barbecue's headquarters, so we're gonna get back in the car.
Well, we're good? Yeah. Good.
One of the gravest atrocities, the warlords recruiting thousands of youth, forced by hunger and fear into the gangs. Half the gang's ranks, the UN says, are under the age of 18. Three of those young soldiers who escaped and are on the run from the gangs, at great risk, agreed to give us a rare look at what it's like on the inside.
How you doing? Jason.
So dangerous the no man's land they hide in, we transported them to the relative safety of the green zone. They fear their former gang will kill them, so they asked us to partially hide their faces and use nicknames. Davidson was 8 years old when forced into a gang. Sly, 10, and Piperit, 7 years old. All three grew up in the capital's largest slum, a vast, densely packed area of destitution known as Cité Soleil, City of the Sun, the most dangerous place in Haiti. It's a violent life.
Depuis nous fait ça au Mandéa, oui, nous fait.
Ako lo yo do on travel. Ako yo do faire ça. Ou dit non va faire.
Yo do ba zone.
On be yo pico à pic.
Yo do ba zone.
On be yo prend couteau. On be yo prend bloc yo lage sous cou. Yo fini ensemble avec.
The youngest, they tell us, are the most valuable soldiers.
Some of the younger children, what role did they play in helping the gang? Do they test you to make sure that you're loyal?
Oui.
What's the test?
Yo pas camper nan va ouais ça ka passer fou wap décaler avec la pour un bon grain mais si ou pas faire ça y a même pon yo tout boulot sur place.
Burn you.
Yeah, really.
You've seen that happen to people you know?
Ça arrivé, mon nous connaît.
Yeah.
Friends?
Des amis.
Oui. Ou pas quitter au pont. Et ça je dis bal ça vient bal devil papa yo. Bal, deviner ça mal branché, bal.
Chaque game bon pas. Et so al nan bon pas yo bien rapide yo tout.
Y a braché au boulot, y a formé y a même principal non.
Encore nous pas tirer.
Oui.
Ça fait normal en peine.
Nous avons game même qui a encore. On l'autre qui n'a bien. Nous avons game même qui a encore.
After years of seeing so much death, and with Haiti, this year, rapidly deteriorating, in early June, all three finally decided to escape.
Et nous pas bien que
tout ça yo dit nous
et pas non encore c'est innocent y a fait bien. Le conseil pas bon pour nous.
One day, they went out on scout duty and never returned. They ran to a rival gang's territory. No protection, no shelter, sleeping on the streets.
Pas bien dormi même. Même un petit morceau de
nous prier pour Dieu. Et ça, moi je n'ai pas travail pour ne pas faire un petit corps pour nous manger.
We went to see where they escaped to.
Right now we're in the red zone. This is gang-controlled territory. We can't stay here very long. Got it. This is where these guys go to work now in the morning. They make a little money this way to live on.
The boys hope their former gang won't come after them here. there's no real escape. All roads out of Port-au-Prince are controlled by the gangs.
Nous courir pour se mettre de un côté, à ça nous pour nous tourner côté encore, non.
Who worries about you? Who would be heartbroken if something happened to you, if you were killed?
Personne. Nous va connaître encore seulement Jésus.
In Port-au-Prince, when the sun goes down, the danger rises. We're warned to get back to the green zone before dark.
We're zipping through the streets of the capital, trying to avoid traffic jams, because that's where you're most vulnerable. That's where gang members on motorcycles can ambush you and, heaven forbid, take you hostage.
At night, the police checkpoints protecting the green zone disappear. Out there, the sprawling camps provide scant shelter from the gangs who rampage at night. The horror's only revealed in daylight when we set out with UNICEF escorting us to the edge of the red zone. To a camp where the gangs are terrorizing women with sexual violence.
Camps like this one have emerged here in Haiti's capital because these people, they were forced from their homes by the gangs, so they set up these shanty towns where there's no security. We're able to walk around here right now because it's the middle of the day. We're told that at night, that's when things get really dangerous, and that's when a lot of the sexual violence happens.
Some of the stories of that violence emerge here in a sweltering room. The night before, 10 families sheltered here. But on this morning, UNICEF's Teisma Shadahi runs a mobile clinic to document new cases of rape and counsel the victims.
Jamais imaginé que le taux de violence était si élevé.
Has it been increasing?
Oui, ça augmente beaucoup.
What shocks you the most?
Les cas où il y a plusieurs agressions, c'est dur à encaisser. C'est brûlant, c'est choquant.
Agression sexuelle. C'est cas déjà.
No one, including the UN, can protect these women. So they advise them on how to protect themselves. Sexual violence as a weapon of war. Haiti's UN mission recently issued a stark warning that the gang warlords, in order to expand their power, inflict systematic rape to instill fear and subjugate.
Il y a tellement de femmes violées, tellement de petites filles violées, soit physiquement, soit sexuellement, mais elles n'en parlent pas. Elles ont peur.
But on this day, in a secure location away from their camps, we met with 4 women willing to tell their stories. They asked that we not use their real names, afraid of reprisals from the gangs and repercussions in their camps.
Des nèg descend machine na exam na men yo bousculer nou an de machine na.
Nya li ralem, li trenem, li fe non kay.
Te mette kagoul mo pa konnen yo.
C'est la caille moi yo violé.
Kagoul pour moi.
Anais is 34 and, like the others, terrorized by the attack.
Puis yo bat moi et puis yo violé. Et puis après, Dieu merci yo pas tué mais yo te lagé. Chaque fois, comme si souvenir ça vient dans tête tout. Waouh. Parfois senti ou ta suicidé tête tout.
Do you ever feel safe?
Non. Imaginez balle a pété tout le temps. Toute journée gon courir.
Frances is 35 and has been abducted twice.
Pendant bandi yo rentré et puis m'a cherché un gens pour me sauver avec ti moun yo. M'a crié. Parce que bien que t'as dit pour touyer, m'a dit pas touyer et puis il fait me passer par derrière pendant il a fait discussion dans la cour, me passer par derrière, il dit me courir. À tout rade me chiré, m'a courir et puis moi aller.
You're a mother of 4. How has this affected your children?
Yo toujours posé une question parce que la première fois là c'était présence ti moun yo te prendre. Yo toujours dit maman qui ça yo te fort même pas jamais voulait dire yo une façon pour ça pas
Fabienne, 40, a mother of 3, her youngest only 3 months old when gang members kidnapped and raped her.
Raison que fait yo fait ça parce que yo gen pouvoir, yo gen zam nan men yo. Faut que moi choisi vivre. C'est ça que fait m'vinn gen courage pour m'chita pour m'parler là. M'penser avec 3 petites moi yo.
Are you somewhere safe now?
Non. Non. Tout le monde peur, tout le monde.
Marita, the youngest, a student. Gangs attacked her camp, captured, held, and assaulted her for 18 hours.
How did you escape?
Moi baissé, moi coupé ficelle la lampiem.
How has your life changed since you went through this?
Bon, depuis ça arrive maintenant, toujours peur. Comme si l'esprit m'a jamais paix. Comme si son monde qui vivre. Mais dis, ma vivre pour vivre. Même pas vraiment sentir son monde qui vivre.
We met her at the camp, an area run by gangs, so we could only stay a short time.
We got to see just how alone she really is and how little she has in this world. That's all you have? Just a few belongings and a place on the ground where she sleeps.
Just 21, she is alone. She survives on food distributed in the camp and has no family to support her. Still, after hearing the other women's stories, she perhaps now feels a little less alone.
And I don't think you're going to give up. Am I right? You're not.
Ensemble avec lui, nous là n'a porté soutien nous avec lui parce que lui plus petit parce que nous là mat.
But out there, in the lawless city, they, like everyone here, fear no one can stop the violence. The warlords are systematically dismantling all law and order here. Terror spreading as the videos circulate of gangs attacking Haitian police stations. Child soldiers showing off their looted police gear. Symbols of security bulldozed, and the police taunted.
We're on patrol with the Haitian police. You see them driving around heavily armed. These guys have one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Their mission on this day, to defend a green zone. It's next to gang territory, run by a warlord on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Tout comme c'est ça captain nous dans job là. C'est pour dangereux, très dangereux.
The patrol leader, who asks us to call him John, tells us for now they're not equipped to go on the offense against the gangs.
On a besoin bon blindé, hélicoptère, bon drone et puis bon armes et munitions.
But for now, with Port-au-Prince still in the iron grip of the gangs, a humanitarian catastrophe grows worse every day. With hospitals destroyed or burned to the ground, only 20% of healthcare facilities are functioning, and many of those are in red zones.
We're on our way to a center that treats malnourished children, and we've got a police escort to get there because it's located in gang-infested territory.
Mothers at great danger bring their children here, a last hope to save them. They're among the thousands of children facing severe malnutrition. Marie-Louise made it through gang-controlled roadblocks carrying her 18-month-old baby, Rodney. The father killed before he was even born.
What happened to him?
te gen tire, li vin arrive pou an bal li mori. Parce li pa gen papa, e maman li mwen papa.
Despite all the difficulties, do you think you'll be able to show him a good life?
Oui.
First, Rodney is weighed. And then Serena August, a nutrition nurse, measures the baby's tiny arm. Yellow is moderate. Red is severe acute malnutrition at risk of dying. For Rodney, it is red.
Elle est obligée de s'installer dans un camp. Elle n'a pas de moyens pour nourrir son enfant. Mais s'il malnutrit,
Is she a typical case that you see?
oui, par jour, c'est à 45 patients avec des cas de malnutrition aiguë sévère ou modérée.
At just this one clinic, 45 babies a day at risk of dying.
Has that number been rising this year?
Oh oui, à cause de l'insécurité. Ils ont perdu leur travail. Ils n'ont pas assez de moyens pour donner à manger aux enfants.
Marie-Louise receives life-saving, high-protein peanut paste for her baby.
Ouvrez-la. Ouais.
As she sets off for the camp, she tells us she'll brave the trip back to the clinic in a week for his follow-up. It gives her hope that she can save her child from becoming, like his father, a casualty of anarchy.